So you want to make thumbnails, but you don't have Photoshop and you're just kind of confused on the process. Well, let me run through my process, my janky process of going and making some thumbnails, and hopefully you can learn a couple things. So, start out. So, pretty much here's my home screen. I have a couple tabs open already. This first tab being the Chrome tab. This is the video that I'm going to be making the thumbnail for. You know, YouTube does give you some options right off the bat, but we don't want to use any of these. We want to make our own to make it look a little bit more appealing. Well, I have a couple websites that are going to be useful for this. Pretty much this website allows you to upload an image and then kind of select as you want. I already went in and took a screenshot of the video, the part of the video that I want, and it's this part. Um, Basically, I got this by taking my raw footage and taking a screenshot of this. The reason why I did the raw footage is because my video is already edited, so my face cam would be in the top left as you see here. But either way, um, here's this. Pretty much this website is called thinprint.com. I love it. The one thing that I will say is don't ever click the download button at the end once you're completely finished with it, because it downgrades the quality of your image. So just take a screenshot of it and then we'll get into the fine details later. But pretty much, as you can see, you can highlight anything you want in this website. Like when you put your photo in here and then you press erase, and then it just merges it into the background basically. And I love this website so much. I use it pretty much for every single one of my videos. I've used it all the way back from my Outer Wilds series. Um, I will admit, the more you erase, the more difficult it is for the website to kind of keep up with what you're erasing. And for instances, like when I erase this, my arm, you'll probably see that it won't be straight. Oh, I did not mean to do that. It probably won't be straight, but I mean, it'll be better than nothing. So you can kind of see here, it's a little broken, but you know what? It's better than just having the whole HUD there. This is useful for when you don't take the time to actually make the thumbnail while you're playing the game or like while you're recording. So I definitely use this quite often. And then that should be everything. Hopefully it erases well, and it did not. So we're just going to trace over it yet again, and hopefully it will merge a little bit nicer. I'm also going to do the outline of where it kind of doesn't blend in, so that way it kind of blends a little bit nicer. You don't have to get real fancy or technical with it. I will erase this though. This is going to get kind of finicky, kind of quick, but I think that's better than before. Maybe. Either way, we can cover that up later. And also the middle cursor bit right here. Whoop bam. Just like that, we have ourselves a no HUD image. And I hope I'm still recording. I'm just going in and taking a quick screenshot. So I just took a screenshot. And then I will get into these other websites in a sec. But the real trick here is using Clip Studio Paint. I have used this for a while now. I know people use them to make animations, people use them to draw, whatever it is. You probably weren't expecting to make a thumbnail in Clip Studio Paint. My Clip Studio is a little weird because I was trying to experiment with animation. It did not go too well, but either way, yours will look a little different when you first load it up. But pretty much what you want to go and do is, as you kind of saw there, I went up into File, Import Image, and that allowed me to import my image into Clip Studio Paint. And I'll make this full screen, and now we have our image in here. Next up, we're going to want to make use of either the text, which allows you to type in here, hello, or you can go in and use this other website that I was going to show you. This one allows you to remove the background of an image. This is helpful for when you're trying to get different games, like their title screen into your thumbnail. So in this case, we're going to bring up the Roblox doors image. And then this allows you to kind of go in and erase the background, as you see here. If it erases too much, you can go to the edit or cut feature and either erase more of the image or restore more of the image. So in this case, I'd like to kind of restore the outline of the like lighting that the doors logo has that got erased. This probably isn't going to work as I'm planning, but we'll kind of go with it and see what happens. I'm doing this all in one because for some reason this website likes to makes you do it all in one, or if you release the mouse button, it will just automatically do what it does. This magic brush button as well is usually what keeps it longer, because when you erase with the magic brush, it's kind of the auto-generative features of the site that are at works. Whereas if I erase it, it pretty much restores wherever it is that I clicked. So this is kind of like the smart feature of this website. So keep that in mind when you're using this. I had an image a while back where it was like this small tiny piece that I still wanted in the image, but it just wasn't working with the magic eraser. With the magic brush, it literally just like filled in a whole portion of that image apart from the one thing. So as you see, it wasn't able to do that for in this case. But if I go and do the actual magic eraser, or take that off, I guess, it will just do wherever it is that I kind of went over. So I'm going to try and do this all in one. All right, so I'm just now finishing the outline of it. Hopefully this works. All right, that does. And now the real question is, do I want to leave the inner part or do I want to keep it? Well, I know I'm going to erase a little bit of this, and it should work because I still don't have the magic eraser added on, so it's not going to do some funky stuff. And then I guess I will download this right away and then go back in and add in this stuff, just so we have a couple options of different styles of thumbnails that we could use. Done. So now go into here and then download that. So now we have that image. Once you have all your images, you want to go in and add them to Clip Studio Paint. In this case, we have that one, and then we have this one. One thing to note is you actually do have to grab the image. You can't grab the part that isn't there of the image. So in this case, I kind of prefer this one. So we're going to keep this. And then to make things even more interesting, we want to highlight this guy because he is kind of one of the focal points of this thumbnail. So for now, I'm going to leave this here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a vector layer and then add it between this image and the background image. Now, once you're done, or once you've done that, you're able to start drawing, like, because this is Clip Studio Paint, so it's meant for drawing and animation. So You can do some pretty cool things if you are a skilled drawer. In my case, I am not. However, I do own this Wacom drawing tablet, which I'm actually going to use. It's really just a mouse, but it uses a pen. It's no different than using your mouse, but it just makes it a whole lot easier. So if you have a drawing tablet or something that would be a little easier than using just your mouse, I'd recommend it, but obviously you don't have to. Um, I also know I didn't go through downloading Clip Studio Paint, but I'm sure you can find a YouTube video on it. Um, but to start out, we're going to zoom in a little bit and we're going to highlight this guy in white just to make him pop a little bit. And because I'm not super savvy with this program, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super savvy with it. There's still a ton of stuff that I do not know about. Pretty much, we're going to try and be as precise as possible because I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to actually be precise with this program trying to outline things. I know on Photoshop there's a very much easier way of doing this, but I don't know how to do that on here, and I don't know if you're able to do that on here. So this is what we're dealing with. This is how I do my thumbnails for the time being. There's always more that I always find like later on. Um, like for instance, the Moon Lord in this thumbnail, pretty much I realized I was able to put the fingers over top of the text. Now that seems super simple, but for some reason, when you go into Clip Studio Paint, it just it didn't allow you to do it. Like I was not able to properly erase the Moonlord's hands and put another layer over top of it because the only layer it was allowing me to erase was when I used the multiple layers eraser. I'm not sure why that was, but eventually I came around to realizing I can just lock the other layers in place, which means I can't touch them or erase them. So even though I was using the multiple erasers, or multiple layers eraser, I was able to still go in and erase just the one layer that I wanted. Alrighty, so I just went in, fully finished drawing out the outline of this character. And I mean, it's a little finicky. I know Photoshop has a better feature than just that, but hey, it makes him pop out a little bit. It does what we want. It might have taken me a little bit longer than if you were using Photoshop, but you still get kind of the same result. The nice thing about this program is if you're an artsy person, you can really do some interesting things with it. I'm not super creative or like I don't have a whole lot of drawing talent at the moment. I am working on it, but pretty much if you can draw pretty well, you can add and create some really interesting thumbnails using this program um, that you would probably otherwise not have been able to if you were using Photoshop. So there are some ups and downsides of using Photoshop or a drawing program to make your thumbnails. Uh, Apart from that, I think there's one other thing that I'd like to add, and that is a floor 2. Because if you're unfamiliar with this game, basically you're going through and opening a bunch of doors. It's like 100 doors, and they recently came out with floor 2. I think it was when this video is coming out, it was last Friday they came out with it. And yeah, so we were playing through it, and this is the second floor of this game. So that's kind of why I'm adding the floor 2. If I was, again, if I was creative and able to draw well or even write well, I could just draw on here floor 2 and make it completely unique. But I'm not that confident. So we're going to use this. Basically, if you add this little button right here, it brings up a whole menu for you. Now, there's a lot here. Trust me, it took me a while to get used to it and figure out where things are. I still don't know where things are. I still don't know what some things do. But pretty much all you got to know is this allows you to change the font, which I'm going to try and go for something that might match the floor's font, even though it is completely unique. You kind of just have to pick and choose. I think this works. This looks pretty decent in my opinion. I'm going to also add in a edge to it. Oh, there was already an edge. So make the edge a little bit more prominent. You can make it as prominent as you need. I find that a lower amount does the trick pretty well. For this one, I think I'm going to actually use something a little higher. Maybe 7. Yeah, that looks pretty all right. And then you can also change the color. So in this case, I'm going to go in and change the color of this image by clicking on the pick color section and then clicking on that and pressing OK. So it matches that now. And then on the edge, I'm going to do the same thing, except kind of towards the edge of the image, just so it matches a little bit nicer, I'm thinking. Maybe pick a different thing out of here. Maybe a little darker. Yeah, that looks good. So now we have our text and we also have our image. And you can spend as much time as you need on these, or you can spend as little as time as you need. I think what I'm going to do now is do a... whoa. Okay. I'm going to erase that, add another one, do the number 2, and then move this to match up with that 2, but choose a different font. That way the 2 kind of stands out a little bit more because it's kind of small, it's kind of squished, and that's due to the font. Or maybe not the font exactly, but we're gonna choose something that makes it stand out a little bit more, makes it pop, you know? Now it's not gonna be perfect, but I think that works. And I can add in the same color, and then I can add in the same edge scheme. I think I did 7. Yeah. And then same color. Perfect. And then I'm going to click on this one and edit this to get rid of that 2. Yeah. Expand that out to my desired level. And then I'm going to click on just something that gets rid of all the boundaries. Then from here, I'm going to screenshot what I have. I definitely want to add something in the top left, but I really can't think of anything right now. So this is what we're going to go with. And then from here, you go into YouTube, and then you click in, go into wherever it is your pictures are, and then you add it. Somehow this image does meet the criteria. Otherwise, I was going to show you this website, which allows you to compress files, which makes them smaller. You can do like packet loss compression, which usually does the trick, and it makes it so your file is less than 2 megabytes, which is what it has to be in order to be a YouTube thumbnail. So I think we did pretty good on this one. It's pretty simple. It's pretty just out there, you know, it's definitely something better than what we had previously. But yeah, that's kind of how I go about making my thumbnails. I'm definitely working on trying to get them to be a little bit better. Like even right now, I'm thinking I could probably take in another layer and put it on top of the whole thing and then erased out to make it look like the floors 2 was going behind the crucifix that I'm holding in that image. That's just something I was thinking about just now. And yeah, so you can work as long as you want on a thumbnail. You can work as little as you want on a thumbnail. It's all just a matter of kind of perspective and how much time you actually want to put in. For me personally, I take a lot of time to edit the videos, so I'm just like, I want to get a thumbnail out there and just call her good. I know that's probably something that I should probably change, but you know, once you're spending like 3, 4 hours on editing alone, and then you just like, oh crap, I forgot I had to make a thumbnail. It's one of those kind of deals. So I'll eventually get over that, but, or at least I hope I will. But yeah, that's how I make some of my janky thumbnails and a couple of the tricks I use in order to kind of make them a little bit better. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friends if you think that they need work on their thumbnails. And let me know in the comments if you learned anything or might take into consideration a couple of these tricks. If you want to see another video of me going over some more tricks using this type of thumbnail making process, let me know. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!